What massively improve your mental health? Taking naps like a toddler instead of stressing like an adult. Naps are so underrated. I love them. I usually nap with my 10-month-old at least once a day. He sleeps better with me there, and extra rest helps me be happier and have more patience. I used to put him down and then try to get work done. Napping is much better. Sometimes I come home from work, and my cat demands that I lay down so he can lay on my chest, and we have a nice nap on the couch together. He does the same thing to my husband if he gets home first. Naps with tiny creatures that you love are the best. It's called a siesta if you are an adult. Stop chasing people and started chasing peace. Best decision ever. There's nothing quite like realizing that peace is a choice, and all you have to do is choose it, set boundaries, and refuse to budge for anything that tries to violate it. The general rule of thumb is realizing that contentment leads to peace. So you gotta be content with less than you expect by killing off all those desires, cravings, and expectations that put you into the never-ending cycle of sufferings. I hear this a lot, but no one ever talks about how hard it actually is to stop chasing people and to actually focus on yourself and making peace with yourself. For me, it's a daily journey/struggle, and some days I'll admit I lose it, and I'm right back to where I started. Internal versus external validation. People are temporary. You are forever. Exercise and sleep, limiting phone use. It's a bummer, because the best answers are usually the obvious ones faced with tears of joy. I'd add make sure you're eating enough. I heard once that if you feel like everyone hates you, you need to sleep. If you feel like you hate everyone, you need to eat. Words to live by. I have really bad anxiety, and when I don't eat regularly, I become a shaking and panicking mess. So I know when I'm feeling anxious, the first thing is to eat a snack. And if you feel like you hate yourself, shower. Agreed, good words to live by. I love this so much. It's true. I often don't get hunger signals when stressed, and not 2 hours ago, I was mad at the world wishing I could move to the middle of nowhere and never see anyone again. I made myself a meal, not because I was hungry, but because it had been over 7 hours since I had anything to eat. I began to calm down, and am feeling better. I will remember this as an alternate sign I'm hungry. The only thing worse than receiving this advice is putting it into practice and realizing it absolutely works. Brutal. Turn off work email notifications on phone. Asterisk all notifications. My phone automatically switches to D&D at 6 p.m. I favorited family members so they can always get through. Deleting Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. It's refreshing not knowing what everyone else is doing. Reddit is also important to regulate, since some subreddits can also become negative echo chambers, though I do like the way you can create your own feed. Still not perfect. It's also really easy to get caught in that negative echo chamber without even realizing it. That was why I deleted Twitter long before it became X. One day I realized that every time I opened the app, one would feel angry and tired by the end of it. I did this 3 years ago. The best part is actually asking people what they've been up to again. LinkedIn was a big one for me. Few years back, I sold my stake in the business I started somewhat reluctantly and was in the job market again. Browsing LinkedIn was like a constant reminder of how well everyone else is doing. Former classmates promoted to managers, or landing a coveted job, or success stories at work. Whereas I'm just looking for an entry-level position. The day I got a job was the day I deactivated my LinkedIn. 7 years since, and I've never felt the need to hop back on. How no one talks more about how fucking toxic LinkedIn is baffles me. When you're using it to look for a job, which you kind of have to, it's so bad. You get caught in, how everyone is doing well, and everything is success, and career is the most important thing in the world, and there you are, unemployed, browsing through other success. My LinkedIn feed is just a bunch of people getting laid off. It's alarming. Vitamin D. Me too. My psychiatrist recommended it a few months ago. For the first time in my life, I didn't experience seasonal depression during winter. Was considering going on an antidepressant, but I haven't felt like I needed to. I do like to hear more about this. Even if you are not technically deficient, studies suggest many people, I think especially women, will have symptoms. Feeling cold, low energy, depression. Same. I thought I was fine because I worked 3-4 hours outside. But nope. Sun is not strong enough in northern climates. Also had low B12 and ferritin. Took supplements. My sleep got better, energy, focus, and mood improved. Sobriety. Went from almost being homeless to having a great family. Owning a very successful business. And having peace of mind. Thank you, universe. I was so scared to do it for so long and was super surprised at how much better I feel. It's worth it. Ugh, I'm 3+ months sober from alcohol and just over a month sober from THC. The THC withdrawal is fucking with my dreams hard. I haven't had a good night's sleep in weeks. Seem to be getting better, but the past few nights have kicked my ass. It does nothing but get better from there, really. I still smoke a lot, but I've had plenty of long-term periods where I quit and was a heavy user beforehand. Getting over the initial hump is the hardest. Then it's just finding ways to cope with the boredom. You got this, man. This is the one. 6.5 years for me. Eindwit. Yep, this one right here. Took a while, but almost 3 years in, and things are pretty chill. When they aren't, well, they'll probably even out one way or another. If you have depression and deal with anxiety, quitting alcohol and drugs is the best things you can do. You save money. Alcohol and drugs are only temp solutions. Dumping the yeks. I read this as dumpling sex when I was scrolling through. Had no idea what that was, but dumping the X makes a lot more sense. Dumpling sex sounds great, TBH. Think about how little you think about or worry about other people, then realize that's how little people worry about you. You can do your own weird stuff, and at the end of the day, if it makes you happy, that's all that matters. You mean I'm not the main character? You are and aren't. People watch different shows. Wisdom to live by. For people with anxiety, you are not as important as you think you are. For people with depression, you are way more important than you think you are. Those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. Dr. Seuss. Fave quote of 20 years. I was a nerdy kid that had trouble making friends as a kid. My mom would tell me to chill. 1/3 of the populace will like you, 1/3 won't, and 1/3 won't care either way. Losing 135 pounds. 140 pounds lost here. I see you. Congrats. Amazing. 50 over here. Still got 20 left. 68 pounds lost from last year. My God, does it feel good. Congrats. I started painting. I have 0 training, 0 skill, and 0 talent. Yet when I am making an abstract painting, time collapses and I'm in the zone. And it keeps me from doom scrolling so much. Cutting off my friends who drain my energy. Cutting off my parents who disguise emotional cruelty as, we just worry about you. Mine was my dad. Pretty sure he's an actual narcissist, not the buzzword use type in social media. Even so, he's definitely abusive. Emotionally, physically, financially, mentally. I still talk to my mom. She was stuck in the same bullshit abusive cycle for nearly 40 years too, and is learning to navigate it after having finally left him. I've had to cut off many people who had a pattern of always having a crisis every week and would come cry to me about it. I get that we all have areas of tough times, but am not their parent nor am I a therapist. I got stuff going on too, and I can't just be a shoulder to cry on every other day. I just lost this friend. She was my best friend, but I always felt like the background character in her life because she always had some kind of crisis going on. The fight that broke us was over her throwing a fit about an issue with her debit card and me saying it wasn't that serious. She snapped, told me to stop talking to her. I told her I didn't appreciate being snapped at and being told to stop talking to her, and she snapped again telling me how hard I am to deal with and how mean I am. Getting a dog. I wouldn't be here guaranteed without her around on my worst days. I had to triple the dosage, leaving a toxic job and finding a job that actually has a decent work-life balance. I just quit the toxic job with no backup plan at arguably the worst time to do it. But I realized when my second co-worker died in a year that I was on the path to either having a stroke or jumping off a bridge. Neither were acceptable options to me. So I said fuck it and quit. I've never been less stressed. It's been an incredible 7 days.